Take another look at the closing numbers. U.S. markets continued to slide after a brief surge yesterday. As President Trump paused his sweeping tariffs on dozens of countries, the Dow, S&P 500 and the NASDAQ all ended down this afternoon. And with that, we are joined now by CNBC's Kristina Partsinevelos. Kristina, thanks for being with us this afternoon. Why did the news of the pause in tariffs yesterday cause stocks to rally, but then not today?
Yeah, you're seeing a complete reversal. So the NASDAQ yesterday, where you have a lot of tech stocks trade and where I am right now, it actually soared 12% after President Trump spoke about the 90-day tariff pause. But today, you're seeing the complete opposite. NASDAQ down 4%, Dow 2.5%, S&P 500 down 3.5%. The market even shrugging off today's inflation report. So the inflation number wasn't as bad as expected for March. There was a good jobs report last Friday, but neither of these economic numbers made a dent in this uncertainty. And so to answer your question, why, you still have a 145% tariff on Chinese goods coming into the United States with neither the U.S. or China seemingly backing down. There's a 10% baseline tariff on all goods coming into the U.S., with some exceptions, of course. You've got looming export controls on AI semiconductors, and all that means supply chain disruptions will continue. And it really makes planning for companies hard at this point. So that's why you're still seeing this sell-off.
Yeah, it seems the U.S. and China, no one's backing down here. Today, CNBC invited economist Erica York to talk about the tariffs. And she says the triple-digit tariff we have on China effectively ends trade with China. What does no trade with China look like for regular Americans, down the road in about 6 months?
Yeah, so it would pretty much be a sharp increase in the cost of everyday goods. You had Brian talking about it just maybe about 2 minutes ago or 5 minutes ago on your show about how toys would go up in price. And that's because China's a major supplier of consumer products, electronics, clothing, toys, household items. And so with tariffs at 145%, the cost of importing those goods would actually skyrocket. And it would make them so expensive in 6 months that companies would have no choice but to hike prices for you and I to pay. So household costs could jump anywhere between $500 to $1,000. And 6 months is really not enough time for all of these companies to reconfigure their global supply chains. So we I don't want to scare anyone, we could see some empty shelves reminiscent of the pandemic era shortage, unfortunately.
Oh boy, stock up on toilet paper. Well, since the tariffs were put in place, suddenly, social media is filled with a lot of economists. What is something that you're seeing that many people are taking as fact that's not true or maybe lacks context? Can you clear anything up for us?
Yeah, so one of the first ones that comes to mind now was on our CNBC network a lot was that iPhone sales could go from costing $1,000 each, the latest ones, to $3,500. That's a stretch, right? More than tripling in price. Apple really likes to keep some consistency with its pricing around the globe. So I really doubt it would surge that much. But it also wouldn't bring back millions of jobs to the United States. That's a big thing in the long term, is reshoring, bringing these jobs back. But it really takes a long time to rejig the supply chain. It could be well beyond a year, well beyond even a year and a half, 2 years, because you have to build the manufacturing space, get the permits, find the equipment, and find the employees. And that takes time. So I think the whole reshoring aspect is maybe exaggerated to a certain extent.
Well, Kristina, we appreciate your time this afternoon and breaking this all down for us. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in the days and months and years to come. Thanks so much.